Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today, and the reason I'm saying the date, because I don't typically say the date, today is January 31st. It's the last day of January. And so in today's video, I thought I would share with you my next chapter, February, what my plans are for February, how I came up with them, and just a continuation of the conversation I had with my doctor. So if you watched my last video, I talked about how he asked me a series of questions to determine whether or not I should go up in dose or not. Ultimately, we decided to increase from 7.5 to 10. It's been a couple days since I've gone up to 10 milligrams, and I will have to say, no major side effects, and slight reduction in food noise, but nothing enough to be like this profound impact of 7.5 to 10. But we'll see. It's only been a couple days, but I wanted to talk about really the second part. What I didn't mention in that video was just that I was telling my doctor a couple different things about, just what I've been focusing on and, really trying to hone in on like the metabolic side of things and what I was eating. And he said something to me, when you have like that little bit of a, somebody tells you like a common sense thing and you're like, why didn't I think of that? But he goes to me, well, what did you do when you found success in the beginning? And I would say, well, first thing I did when I knew that we were going to start taking, in my case, in case you don't know, it was Mounjaro back in March of 2023. That's when I started to take it. I moved to Tirzepatide in October of 2024. So I'm currently going on over 22 months, but he said, think about the things you did when you first started. And I was like, well, I knew I was getting the medication. The pharmacy had it. Insurance covered it. And I wanted to really take the things that I enjoyed to eat and make them cleaner. I really wanted to prioritize strength training. I just wanted to simplify things around and not do anything crazy, go into some crazy calorie deficit. And it was really just, I wanted to track my weight. I'm somebody that understands that weight, you can fluctuate. And so I don't have issues weighing in every single morning. And I think some ways that holds me a little bit accountable, but that's not for everybody. And in this case, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just speaking, my story. And so he was like, well, everything that you did when you first started is all you ever need to be doing. Go back to the beginning. Maybe in your mind, you need to say, this chapter is done. This weight loss chapter from the, when I initially started to whatever day we want to say, end it. Open up a new chapter. Even if it's still on a weight loss journey, you could still add, a culmination of your weight loss totals, but just say, starting on this day, these are the things that I'm going to do over this period of time, and create your checklist, create the things that you want to tackle, have a weight loss goal. He said, in the beginning you didn't. Granted, I needed to lose over like 90 to 100 pounds. And I think that is sometimes for me a little bit daunting. I don't like to think too far ahead and be like, I got to pound by pound to reach, 100 pounds lost. I didn't ultimately give myself like a must lose X amount of weight in X amount of time thing. But in this case, I am. And so I'm going to get into that in a second. But he also said something that gave me that little Oprah aha moment. He's like, so what challenge are you doing for January? And I was like, well, I'm really not. I said, I have my January goals, the things that I want to do to ultimately get me to where I want to be down the road with, my optimizing my metabolism, really trying to define what healthy looks like for me. And he goes, well, no like walking challenge, no like 75-day challenge. And I was like, well, no, because I did that because I always tell him about these crazy, we meet every like 3 months, but I always tell him, like, I feel like every time we're meeting, I'm doing something where it's like either that walking challenge. I did like an ultra marathon walking challenge in the course of August. I walked 100 months, and then I tried the 75 hard. And then I was in like a weight loss stall, and I did like this true like 30-day challenge. And I just focused on those 30 days to see if I can jumpstart the weight loss again. And I did. And I was like, you're right. Like I love a good challenge. And I've said that in videos before. I'm a girl that loves challenges. How did I forget that? And he goes, but don't go overboard. Like, I know that you really would have loved to have succeeded at 75 hard, but ultimately you made the right decision. And so I was like, why am I not sticking to the beginner's principles, but also, putting together like a challenge for myself? And so everywhere I turn, obviously, is the 75 hard challenge because, everybody's the new year. Everybody wanted to do the 75 hard challenge. But after that conversation with him, I got back home and I started looking up different types of challenges. I was like, maybe I'll do that, 30, 12, 3, where it's like 30 minutes of walking, 12 incline, 3.0, miles per hour type of thing to speed. And I was like, well, that's still a little limited. I could still do that, but I would like some other things on top of it. And so I kept looking and kept looking. And so ultimately, everything was like a 75-day challenge. And I was like, okay, 75 soft looked interesting, but then there's the 75 medium. And at that point, there's just different rules to it. But I was like, okay, for 75 days, I'm going to take whatever I find as the rules. The next thing I click on, those are the rules I'm going to follow. And so ultimately, when I clicked on it, it was exactly like a blueprint for a beginner. It really is. And I could be wrong. Comment below if I'm wrong about this. But when you first started, or you're thinking like, okay, I'm going to pick up the medicine and I'm starting, and you think of what are the things that you're going to do when you first start on your weight loss journey, what does that entail? Well, one, it entails trying to clean up your eating. So that's like 75 medium first rule. Follow a diet of choice. And me, I don't want to do any fad diet or anything. I already know what diet I want to do. I just want to have the structure around it that says each day I check the box that I followed the rules of, I have my lumen list, which I say lumen list, it's the food list. So they give the things that categorize for high, medium, low carb days, whatever, and then all the different foods that, ultimately they're all foods that are really healthy and whole foods and clean eating type of realm. And I was like, that's what I did when I first started. I made a list of the foods I like to eat. So I've already done that. I've already done that with my, using Lumen, where I've taken all of the foods from their lists and I put them in my own list of the foods I like to eat, and I can just keep track and pull them out for my meal plans. So I'm like 1-to-1 right there. It's like you're first starting, you want to clean up your eating, you want to do a little bit better in that area, focus on nutrition. So that's what I'm going to do over here, 75 medium, 75 days each day. I'm going to focus on hitting my macros, primarily protein, because that's what I did when I first started. I primarily looked at protein and calories. And so in this case, it's a slight mind shift, but learning macros for me is taking a little bit longer than I would like, but that's okay. It's new. Everything I've ever done was just calorie counting and making sure I hit my protein goal. So this is a different little area, and it's not going to be something I'm going to be able to do overnight and perfect it. Now I could use ChatGPT and other tools to really fine tune it, but not every day is going to be perfect. So in my particular case, I just want to follow, when I do my daily reading with the Lumen device, I'm going to get my macros for the day, and I'm going to try to follow that as close as I possibly can with the goal of always hitting the protein and then maybe getting within 10% of the others. And then the second rule for 75 medium was 1 45-minute workout a day. Once again, when you're starting to take a GLP-1 for weight loss, they say move. You have to move. Find a way to move. And what that looks for each and every one of us is different. But I was like, okay, when I first started, I did 2 upper and 2 lower body workouts. Now I didn't put like a 45, like I have a time limit. I have my exercises in each of those categories. And I showed up every day that was leg day and every day that was upper day. And I did my exercises and I tracked them. And I just felt myself getting stronger. And I did that for months. And the other days throughout the week was a lot of just movement, walking. And I was always mindful of my steps. And so once again, that's like another 1-to-1, like, here we go. 75 medium is aligning with what you should do when you first start taking a GLP-1. This is like, to me, it's getting fun. And then the other category is, so the third rule of 75 medium for me is hydration. And in this particular case, it says drink half of your body weight in ounces. So, we're looking at a little over 80 ounces for me at this time. But when I first started taking, Mounjaro back then, we heard so much about hydration and how important it was, just because I'm not a medical professional. I don't want to be wrong with this, but there's something that the medication does that in some ways not only suppresses appetite, but suppresses your thirst. And so you just need to make sure that you're aware of how much you're drinking, and also just water, and even some electrolytes in it, but mainly water is very important anyway when you're on a weight loss journey, GLP-1 or not. And I definitely was mindful of that when I started. And in this particular case, the requirement is for me, it's going to be about 80 ounces of water a day, but I exceed that. I definitely far exceed that, but I'm going to just track a little bit more of that, but just make sure if I get 80 and above, check off the list. And then the last two aren't necessarily, one of them could be, but they're not like I'm going to say, oh, when you first start taking, when I first started to take it, this was one of the key things that helped me maximize weight loss. And it's not, but as part of the 75 medium, it's a requirement to read for 10 minutes a day. And I have thoroughly enjoyed that component of the 75 hard challenge where it was like read 10 pages. But in my particular case, it said read 10 minutes on the rules that I brought up when I Googled it. And Google can't be wrong. I'm just kidding. I'm really, really kidding. But I was like, okay, well, I've been reading Let Them by Mel Robbins, the Let Them Theory. I'm almost about halfway. I'm really close to being done. Might be 3/4. And then I have another book I want to read called Outlive. And then I want to go back to another kind of like, personal development, self-help type of thing, which is the 5-second rule, also by Mel Robbins. So I already have like my books lined up. And I think that's a key thing to winding down in the evening. And that might be one of the main reasons why whenever I read and wind down and relax at night, I sleep better. And I haven't been sleeping so well, and it's because I just haven't been really doing enough to wind down like I need to. And then the last part of it, which I think I didn't do when I first started, but I wish I did. And I've said this in other videos, the progress photos. I'm like, why can't I just take the photos? Like, what is my deal? Like, why am I like somebody that like says they want to take their photo and can take it and store it away? Nobody needs to see it. But for some reason, I just was like, I just didn't take the photos I wanted to. And I didn't start documenting on YouTube until a year in. And I wish I did sooner because I would love to go back and look at those photos. But in this particular case, for the 75 medium, it's one progress photo on day one and one progress photo right at the end of it. And then you can do a comparison. And so I'm hoping that I will have enough confidence in myself to show those photos to you. That is my plan, but I will not share them until the end of the journey because what am I comparing it to? But I will weigh in. Ultimately, my goal is to take what I weigh in and then know my goal weight is 153. It is at 153. My doctor is perfectly fine with that. It puts me still in a higher normal weight range. I'm 5'9". And I'm going to keep track of, body fat percentage and muscle mass, which are extremely, I think, sometimes more important than the weight on the scale. But I am going to take whatever I weigh in tomorrow on day one, and I'm going to subtract it by 153, and I'm going to see what that is. And let's just, for the purpose of this story, say it's 15 pounds. Well, I'm now going to say for the next 75 days, I'm going to lose that amount of weight. Now, that doesn't mean I failed the 75 medium challenge if I don't hit that, but I want that mindset again. I want the tracking of the weight loss. I'm not going to go in extreme calorie deficit. It's the mindset like when I first started. I'm going to follow all those things, and I'm already so, 90 pounds or 87 pounds, between 87 and 90. I don't know yet. I decided not to weigh in today. I'm going to weigh in tomorrow when it starts, so I will truly know. But it's one where I think for me, having that number, that tangible number, being safe with it, not going in extreme calorie deficits, it's going to be hard for me to be able to lose, more than a pound and a half a week, unless I do extreme things, which I'm not looking to do. I didn't do that when I first started, and I'm not going to do it now. But I do want to put in the next 75 days, I want to hit my 100-pound weight loss goal. I want to hit it. I gave up on it a little while ago, thinking maybe I was at set point. My body wasn't just letting me, lose the weight. And now I'm at the point where I was like, you know what? I've gained a couple pounds, going up and down. I'm going to be focused on that. So that's the 75 medium challenge. Those are the things that each and every day, if I hit them, I will be able to, I'll put an image up here. I'm not embarrassed by this at all, but apparently I saw this on, was it Instagram? And everybody's doing the 75 hard challenge, and they put Post-its up on the wall. And I was like, I'm going to be one of those people. I'm doing it because I love a checklist. I have a checklist for work. I have checklists for the day. Now I have a checklist for my 75 medium. Now, once I do all the requirements, I'm going to walk and I'm going to tear that day's Post-it down. And that's basically me saying that day is done. I don't know. It's something fun to do. You can see progress as you go. But yeah, I'm just like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I took a couple minutes and that many Post-its and hung them up on the wall. But then there's the bonus categories that I'm putting in there. And these are just things that I want to focus on, but it's not going to be like I can't take the Post-it down. And that is, once again, always my skincare. I'm really, my face might be a little bit red today. I don't know, but this morning I did, I did a mask. I had to think of what it was. Each day I put a couple different things, and I started today. I love the brand Eminence Organics. Do not buy them. Do not buy them from Amazon. I repeat, do not buy them from Amazon. These you should be buying from either a spa or directly from them. True retailers that that the product is of quality. I know people that have bought them from Amazon because they were a little bit of a better price, and like their face broke out or really red. And Eminence even says it on their site, please do not buy it from third parties like Amazon, unfortunately. And I only buy things from Amazon that typically will say like, the manufacturer name and like fulfilled by Amazon. Like it has to. So like It Cosmetics, it's like, I can buy my makeup from them from Amazon because it's like, It Cosmetics and fulfilled by Amazon. And I really trust that when it comes to certain products. But anyway, back on that, I have my AM, PM skincare. I want to see in the next 75 days, what I can do to my skin with my red light therapy mask, because when I first started taking Mounjaro, everybody talked about, and I know it's still a GLP-1, but like Ozempic face, like, yes, when you lose weight, you're going to, see a little bit, your face is going to thin out a little bit more. It might thin out a little bit more than the rest of your body, until it all evens out. But I was very aware of, skincare, hair care, all those things when I first started. And so I really want to see how I can like just transform my skin in 75 days. I know it takes longer than that, but I think it'd be cool to, tomorrow I'll take a photo, obviously without, anything, no skincare done, no makeup, nothing. And just get my before. And it's like my skin progress photo. And I'll take one at the end. And then the other is 10,000 steps a day, because I have done a very good job the past, week and a half. And I want to continue on it, but that's just being able to get up and stand while working, because I got a sit-stand desk. Absolutely love it. Got it for Christmas. Couldn't be happier with it. I love my desk. I needed a converter. I needed something better, but I find like there's the ones that's just a lot of effort to lift up. I got 2 monitors, a lot of like, equipment for work, and found this one from Vari. Used to be like, it's easier for me to say Vari desk. It's electric. I'll put a little image up here of it, and you press the button and it goes up and it goes down. It's electric. Love it. But along with like, being able to be aware of like sitting and standing with the 10,000 step, goal, I got the walking pad, which is going to be a huge part of the next it's going to be a huge part of the whole year next year, but for the next 75 days, I'm going to make sure that during my work day, this is not part of a 45-minute workout, nothing. It's just like, you sit for an hour, you stand for 30 minutes, you walk for 30 minutes, sit for an hour. Like, I'm just like, that's not really what I have mapped out yet, but that's my vision, is just to, if I have a meeting and, you know, I have people that have walking pads like exactly like mine. That's why I wanted one in my meetings, and you see them walking on it. And most of the time it's if you're not presenting or you're just there to listen, you know, people are walking, people are standing, especially if it's not like a formal meeting or anything, which most of mine tend to not be. But I'm going to be utilizing that to make sure I am moving during the day, because it's not a matter of one 45-minute workout. It's making sure that I'm just not stagnant and sitting all day and then just having a 45-minute workout. But I wanted to just hop on here and just give a little bit of an update. I thought January, as I'm wrapping it up, went really well. And as I was thinking of, what do I want to do in February, combined with what, you know, the conversations I had with my doctor, and him saying to me, like, you're a competitive person. Remember that. Use that to your advantage. Don't try to change that. It's not time to try to change that. Find a way to tap back into that beginner mindset, if that means closing one chapter and opening another, still going on this competitive, you know, trying to lose weight, trying to improve your health. Find ways to just, you know, keep yourself going, because, you know, you look at, like, when I trained for a marathon, this is ages and ages ago. You know, I joined a running group, but I also had I think it was a 12-week program, and I followed that to a T. Same thing with a triathlon, you know, and Tough Mudder, all these different things. You know, I've done 5Ks, you know, half marathons, like all these different races, and you always have a training program. So in this particular case, I'm doing a 75-day medium program, and it's my 75-day training program. It's training, you know, my mind to be able to do X, Y, and Z throughout the day, accomplish them, call it a night, wake up and do it the next day. And just, you have certain things that you're going to follow to ultimately see where you get after 75 days. But I want to wrap up this video here today. Let me know if, like, since the New Year's has started, have you been doing any sort of challenge or anything fun this past January that you're going to be rolling into February? Do any of your plans or your goals, like, are you looking to expand on them? What are you looking to do in February? Have you done a 75 medium or soft challenge? Comment below. And also let me know if my thought process is correct about having the mentality like a beginner. Like, you know, you're starting your journey, you need to have certain things that you need to do each and every day to be able to ultimately get to your goal of losing weight. Like, it's interesting when you do like this. I found this 75 medium, and it's like kind of going hand in hand with how, you know, I started on my weight loss journey. And also, one last thing before I wrap this up, which I think is really cool, is I perfectly timed this. Now, full disclaimer, tested it out a little bit the past couple days to make sure that I had the capacity in my day to be able to do something like this, because I wanted to test it out for a couple days, and trust me, I'm ready to do it. But I timed it to start on February 1st, which is a Saturday, and that is shot day. And that is exactly when I first started taking Mounjaro, and I flipped the switch to go from, how am I going to lose weight? What am I going to do? To, oh, I have starting Mounjaro, shot day. From that day moving forward, these are the things that I'm going to be changing. And so that's why I thought it was interesting to start it on shot day. So tomorrow is my shot day on a Saturday. And that's when I'm kicking off the 75 medium challenge. And I'm going to be recording on day one. So be sure to, you know, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any. I'm going to be doing updates. Essentially, if you're a beginner also, like, this might be something fun to follow, because I'm not doing anything super crazy and outrageous, but I'm going to be showing you along the way the different things that I'm doing to ultimately, you know, check the box. But also, you know, I'll tell you how my progress is going. You know, I'm going to do my weight measurements. I'll let you know what my waist circumference measurements. I'll tell you how I am progressing on the scale. Like, I'll be completely honest. I'll show you my macros. I'll show you my lumen readings, and just going to see how each and every day goes. But I'm excited. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.